Hello and welcome to the NBA Finals pregame show. We're just ahead of Game 1, and I have here with me Eddie, Eli, and Benji. To begin, what do you think about this NBA Finals Game 1 coming up, Eddie?
So I have two key points. One, first, the Celtics, without Kristaps Porzingis, they're lacking lots of youthful and talented big men. The main thing for Porzingis is he needs to stay healthy. His career has been haunted with injuries, and when he's in his prime, he can play really well with shooting over people and stuff like that.
Do you have anything to add, Eli?
Yes, I think this game and this series is going to come down to duos. Luke and Kyrie versus Tatum and Brown are two of the best duos in the league. Luke and Kyrie are both guards, while Tatum and Brown have a little bit more size. So I think whoever plays better there should have a good chance of winning this series. But I also think the Celtics have better role players. So for Luke and Kyrie, in my opinion, it is more important that they play better.
Anything else, Benji?
I'd like to go into some storylines before this NBA Finals. Obviously, Kyrie left the Celtics fans on a pretty bad note. Every Celtics fan hates Kyrie. You can see outside the Madison Square Garden arena what they're saying. Kristaps Porzingis used to be with the Mavs, and there are some reports from people like Taj Gibson saying how Luka Doncic and him didn't really end things very well. Back to you.
Yeah, I think there's also a player on the Mavs, though, that we can't forget. Derrick Jones Jr. He's making league minimum. Just think about that. And he's done so much for the team. Yes, Luka and Kyrie are extremely talented players, and they're probably the two best on their team. But without Derrick Jones Jr., I don't think the Mavs would be where they are now. He's just a critical part to the team, and he's a huge part of the Mavs. What do you think, Eddie?
I think you are 100% correct when you're talking about Derrick Jones Jr., but just like that, most people don't see him as a star. Like, there are lots of players on both teams that make tiny differences that can determine the difference in games. Like, on the Mavericks, you got Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively. Over on the Celtics, you have Payton Pritchard, Al Horford. Like, those guys, I think they're going to be role players, too, on the biggest stage of basketball this year.
I never necessarily said superstar. I more meant just key pieces of the team. What do you think, Eli?
Yeah, I think what you said about the league minimum is definitely right. Derrick Jones provides really good 3-and-D as a role player to a team, and making a league minimum, it's really good that you can get him on that. And I think for Celtics, they also have really good role players. So it'll definitely be a tough series for role players and for stars.
Yeah, this is the last year on his contract, so going into free agency, it's going to be interesting to see if Dallas can keep him on their team. He's done so much for them.
Thank you, guys. We'll get back to you after this quick commercial break.